welcome. How are you? I'm doing great. Okay, here we are. We're going to do some IBS teaching, learning, and learning how to use your body to heal your IBS. So, with that being said, I wanted to talk about IBS a little bit. It isn't just about what you eat. It also has a link to fascial tightness, which is that connective tissue covering, which we've been talking about last week. And actually, IBS is also very much related not only to just what the body is doing, but what the mind is doing. So, stress can, well, it will, if you have IBS issues, it will make your IBS issues worse. So, with that being said, we have had some wildfires up here, and the one that I'm thinking about most importantly is the one that was only 15 kilometers from us. So that was a bit of a stressful thing. And so when there's stress, the tummy gets going and upset. And if you're like me, yeah, it's just stress can create worse IBS flare ups and symptoms. Um, but I will tell you straight up, it is raining right now. So it's an exciting time. It's been raining the last few days. Not completely, but I mean, Mother Nature, she will always, for the most part, save the day. What it seems like in my world. Anyway, and so, yeah, we've got lots of rain. So that helps alleviate IBS symptoms in the way that it's removing my stress, but then also just being in nature helps to relieve mental health, stress, and any other physical or emotional stress too. So being in nature is a huge one to help with IBS. Another one is bitters. So because IBS isn't just about what you eat, it's also about your entire digestive system. So when you are tight here, which is where I am, mostly right here, even just this posture makes things worse for me in my digestive system. So liver, gallbladder, pancreas, and stomach, even spleen can somehow kind of get in there too. But I take bitters. So these are called Canadian Bitters by St. Francis, and I find that if I'm ever feeling stuffed up or crampy or can't go to the washroom or bad gas, any of that, I take some bitters. So that helps to uh, move everything along. It's called peristalsis, so moves all of the food through the digestive system. And then what I also have noticed too is that along with the gallbladder, the liver can be affected too. So if you aren't getting rid of those toxins, then your IBS symptoms will be even worse than what they could be if everything's moving properly. So again, bitters are important, and I've also found this cleavers, which I make a cleavers tea. I've talked about this a little bit before too, but this helps to bust up and dissolve gallstones as well as kidney stones. So this is something that I've been taking, and so along with good posture exercises and strengthening, the Cleaver's tea is something that I have to help just with liver health. So very important stuff to keep all of your digestive organs moving as much as possible, because that's how you get rid of toxins. And if you've been paying attention, I also talk about how to lose weight. So if you have issues with your digestive system, then you can't actually lose weight properly. You can't get rid of toxins. Um, yeah, so that's very important things. So, yeah, I'm gonna carry on. I mean, it's been a bit of a stressful month, but very exciting too. So lots of planning. If you've been following along, Sean and I just got engaged, so we are going to be married very soon, actually. And so I've been doing a lot of planning for that. So there's been more sort of stress, like fun stress, but it's still a bit of stress. And so my digestive system hasn't been the best. So all of these things have been helping: drinking water, taking bitters, having the cleavers, doing some exercises, stretches, strengthening, postural work, opening all of this up, and eating fruit in the morning. So those are all things that I do to help with my IBS. So if you feel like that's something that you need help with, you can reach out to me. My program and my coaching is all about that. It's all about everything that I talk about here on Fridays at 12:30, live with you, which is honestly my favorite part of the week. So I'm thinking of doing something else another time during the week too. So that will come later. But anyway, so extra stress. So just been trying to do as much as I can from a foundational perspective to keep myself healthy. So you just do the consistent things, and life will carry on. There will be stress. There will be, different parts of your journey that kind of take you off that balance. But if you just carry on with certain things to keep your body healthy, the basic body foundations, which is what we're doing here, then you will carry on with a lean body. You will be healthier. You will remove toxins. You will be leaner, all the things. So I did post a photo of myself today. I don't think I've done a photo in at least a month, if not a bit longer. But it's proof that if you just consistently do foundational things step by step, and you do the right things, then you will carry on with losing weight. So reach out to me if that's something that you're interested in, because that's all I love to talk about. If you know me, I want to talk about all the things that make your life better and more balanced, and so that you're happier, more full of joy. Because when you don't feel well, you don't have much joy inside, I don't believe. So yeah, so we're gonna carry on. We did stretches, we did some opening. I believe we did some arm circles. If not, arm circles are always great for the bowels. We did some twisting at the waist, so that helps to promote digestive health, and even just opening up the triceps, relaxing the neck, and then doing the figure four with the hips is really good and will also help to open everything up, so that while you're doing these exercises that we're going to do today, it helps everything stay the way that it needs to stay open, so that this isn't here, it's all open, and the solar plexus is all open too. Yeah, so we're going to kind of do an exercise. It's a little bit more challenging for me to talk while I'm doing exercise, so I may not say a whole heck of a lot, but I will take you through everything that I do for my IBS. And we start with pelvic floor exercises. So that's number one. That's our ground level, our foundational area that you work on, so that you can have not only a strong core, but a nice round booty. So if you want like a heart, upside down heart shape for a booty, then you start with pelvic floor exercises. If you want a flat booty, you don't do pelvic floor exercises. So it's pretty simple that way. So pelvic floor exercises, so it's just squeezing your pelvic floor. So doing Kegels, if you've ever done those. I mean, guys can do Kegels too. They still have a pelvic floor, but ensuring that everything is down and lifted like that. So I can post a video if you would like of actual pelvic floor instructions. But if you know sort of what you're doing, you in essence just want to be able to feel and have a mind-body connection to all of the pelvic floor muscles. So that entails shifting the hips a little bit and then drawing the belly button up. So anywhere from here, you're going to pull up and strengthen that core. So when we were doing those deep breathing exercises, those are pretty well doing a variation of a pelvic floor exercise, and it's engaging that TVA. So you breathe out and then in, and you push out, and that helps to lift everything. Instead of here, we're here. And so really engaging that pelvic floor is super important. You want to engage a pelvic floor every time you do any foundational or functional exercise, including squats and lunges and deadlifts too. So really get that mind-body connection. We won't go too deep into it right now. If that's something you want to see more in depth, let me know. But just think about engaging your pelvic floor and the Kegels as well as the lower abs. So you're basically taking everything from here and you're pulling up and in. So that'll help with mind-body connection, even with your bowel movements. So when you have a strong pelvic floor, that means that you can have a mind-body connection when you're actually going to the washroom on the toilet. So important stuff right there. So lower abs, pelvic floor. What also is super important is doing that power pose. I know that we talked about that last week. If not last week, definitely the week before. So go ahead and check out that video too. But opening everything up, opening up that solar plexus and the digestive system will help you to have a better functioning digestive system. So all you're doing is you're just getting into that Arnold pose, that power pose, and you're flexing your arms so that all of this comes up, back, and down. So see that versus here, you don't want the shoulders up like that, but you want them back and down. So you're getting out of that internal rotation of your shoulders and you're getting into an external rotation of the shoulders. So that really opens things up. See how that looks really open? When I'm here, it's not open. So even if I'm doing the power pose and I'm still squeezing here, it's not enough. So bringing the shoulders back and down will help to open all that up and allow for your digestive system to work better. And that will put you in a better position for strengthening your glutes, which is what we're going to do today. So if you've ever wanted a better booty, perkier booty, it kind of just goes hand in hand with the IBS symptoms. So the more that you do the strengthening to heal your digestive system, it actually engages the glutes and makes them look better. So why wouldn't you want that, right? To see. Yeah. So the first one I want you to do is just an external rotation. So most people, their hips are here, and you actually want them out like this. So I know you can't see my head, but my hips are most important right now. So you're just going to squeeze your glutes here, and that's going to naturally rotate your knees and your hips out. You got that? So squeezing glutes, and watch what your knees do. Do your knees externally rotate as well? Because they should. I mean, don't pull from your knees, pull from your glutes, and that will help your hips as well as your knees. So that's something. So I'll show you from behind, or this side. See how you can even just see my glutes engage? So that's number one. So let's do that. Let's do it 10 times just so that you can get the mind-body connection. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So if you don't have the mind-body connection anymore, then stop doing that. But you want to have that mind-body connection, and you want to do those regularly. So I would say at least 3 times, do 10 reps. You can do it as much as you want throughout the day. That helps to not only help with IBS, but also helps to strengthen the hips and your knees. So that's super important too. The second glute exercise is we're actually going to do that, but then we're going to lift the leg very slightly. So you're not going to fling your leg back. It's going to be nice and controlled, and you're going to have a mind-body connection, but you're going to squeeze the glutes, and then that foot's going to come up just a little bit. So let's see how I can show you doing this. So squeezing, external rotation, and then you're just going to lift your leg slightly. So you're not going to do this because we're not there yet. You're just going to externally rotate and then lift your leg just a little bit. So I will do that from the front. Very important that you don't lift the leg too much. You just want a very minute movement so that you get that mind-body connection and engage that glute med. So external rotation, hold on to something, and then move your leg just slightly. External rotation, slightly. So let's do that on the other side. I'm holding on to something, so I mean, I would definitely recommend holding on to something too. So external rotation and slight. External rotation, slight movement. External rotation, slight movement. You will want to hang on to something because you want to get that mind-body connection before you start flinging your leg, and you want to hold on to something just so that you're not toppling over. You also want to make sure that your hips are balanced and level, so that's a very important piece to this exercise too, because you don't want one hip up and the other one down, because that way you're actually going to be engaging something called your quadratus lumborum, your QL muscles, which are way up here, and we don't want that. We're trying to work our booty, right? So we don't want the QL to be involved. So let's try it one more time. Let's do it 10 times. So we'll externally rotate, and then we're going to lift the leg just slightly, engaging your glute med, which is right here. So we'll do the left leg or the right, whichever you prefer. We're obviously going to do both. So external rotation and lift. External rotation, lift. External rotation, lift. That's 3. So external rotation, lift. That's 4. External rotation, lift. 5. External rotation, lift. 6. External rotation, lift. 7. External rotation, lift. 8. External rotation, lift. 9. External rotation, lift. 10. I tell ya, that stuff gets the motor running. I mean, even though it seems like a super easy exercise, this is actually something that works up a sweat, and it gives you some cardiovascular health too. Just because it's so minute, you don't have to do a whole bunch of exercises. You just have to do the right exercises and consistently. So this is the only way I know how to totally build the booty in a precise way. So let's carry on. Let's do the other side. So we'll do 10 on the right side or the opposite of what you just did. So external rotation, lift. External rotation, lift. External rotation, lift. And if you don't have the mind-body connection, you can always just put your hand here on the glute med, and that'll help you to get that mind-body connection. So we're on 4 now. So external rotation, lift. External rotation, lift. That's 5. External rotation, lift. External rotation, lift. External rotation, lift. I think we're at 8. External rotation, lift. External rotation, lift. External rotation, lift. I was thinking of something, so I don't know if I actually did 11 instead of 10. Either which way, it's great. You could do extra ones. You could do a couple extra, whatever you want. Again, you want to have that mind-body connection. That is the most valuable piece of anything that I can teach you, is body awareness, mind-body connection. So we just did external rotation, glute med, and I want to do lunges. I think that'll at least give us what we need for the glutes, because stretching the front of the hips is very important to help you to engage your glutes. So if you're constantly sitting, and you have tight hip flexors here, then it's going to be really hard to work your glutes and even get a mind-body connection into your glutes. So this lunge that I'm going to show you, which I've seen lots of success, my friend Chloe, she's had lots of success with this one too, in just the specific way and muscle that you engage with this lunge is super important and life-changing, really, if you want a perky booty. So we'll do the lunges. You're going to engage everything that we've talked about. You're going to engage your pelvic floor, the external rotation, and your glute med. But you're also going to stretch those hip flexors, just like I was saying. So if you're sitting too much, you won't be able to engage the glutes. So go back to the first video, part 1, and do the hip flexor stretch that we were doing. So if you don't remember that one, just let me know. And I can hopefully get that to you or just tag you in the other video. I'm just going to grab a drink of water. Okay, so lunges. I'm going to do it from the side and then from the front. So what you want to remember is opening up the front of the hips, and you're going to squeeze the glutes. So they're actually going to get squeezed right at the top of the hamstring and the bottom of the glutes. So that part is right here. And that's the part that when you work and you get that definition between the glute and the hamstring, that actually gives you a nicer, rounder booty. And not only that, it's good for foundational exercises and everything else. So you're going to start with, let's say, the right foot in front, left foot behind. You're going to squeeze the glutes back here, and then you're going to just do a lunge. So remember, you're not here, you're going to squeeze here. So you're going to squeeze that upper part of the hamstring and the lower part of the glute. And with that being said, you're just going to come down just like that. And just like that. And just like that. We'll do it from the front. So again, my right foot is in front, my left foot is behind, so get a comfortable position. And you're just going up and down. So remember, with the back leg, squeeze that upper hamstring and the lower glute, and then come down and up. And down and up. So making sure that that hip flexor is open. Nice. And even just doing a couple, done a few of these already today, so I'm a bit tired, but even just doing a couple of them, you feel a little bit winded because you really getting that mind-body connection, and you're really focusing on using and utilizing the exact muscles that you want to be using, as opposed to just kind of using fascia or, you know, overworking your quads, whatever it is that happens to be taken over instead of the actual muscles that we're working on. So let's try the other side. So instead of the right leg forward, we're going to do the back leg, the left leg forward. So there you go. You're going to, like I just did, you're going to squeeze back here, and that's going to help round out your hip flexor, and it's going to squeeze that spot of what we're intending to work. So, and just go down and up, down and up, down and up. So you really want to make sure, just like what we were doing with the external rotation, you want to make sure that your hips are level, they're balanced. So if one hip is up, then that glute muscle isn't going to be engaged, because that would mean that that QL or that quadratus lumborum is being engaged as well. So yeah, if you have any specific questions, let me know. I can send another video of me doing this exact workout so that you know exactly how to do it. This is my favorite glute exercise. It is tricky at first. If I haven't done it in a little while, then it feels tricky to get back into. But yeah, it's a good one. So let's do 10 on each side. So just remember, keep your hips level. You want to have one leg front, one leg back. The leg that's back, you want to engage that upper hamstring and lower glute muscle. You want to make sure your hips are down. You're engaging your pelvic floor and your TVA. And I'm just going to go up and down. So see how it feels. If you have any knee issues, let me know. I'm going to start with my right leg forward, my left leg back. So we'll do 10, okay? I'm not going to say too much because it is a little bit tricky. So there's 1, 2, and I hold here, 3, to get that mind-body connection, because that's for the muscle that I really want to work. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I also think too, I was going to say do 3 sets of 10 each, but maybe you just need 1 set of 10, or maybe 1 set of as many as you can, as many as possible, without losing the mind-body connection. So if you're going to start, arching your back, ne pas, stop it. No more. Just shut it down, okay? So those are important tips, especially with any exercise that you're doing. If you're adding weight, if you're not adding weight, you always need to have a mind-body connection. Very important. So let's do the other side, okay? I'm going to start with my right leg forward. Left leg forward, right leg back. And so you're just going to squeeze here, put my hand here, and then come down. So remember, you want your hips parallel and straight. I can tell this one is a little bit tight. I think we're on 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. I'll tell you, I don't know if it's because I just did a bunch of these today, but I'm feeling tired after those ones. So therefore I'm going to end it there, and I can do any more exercises. So remember, you want to do your pelvic floor exercises. So really feeling that pelvic floor, keeping your hips rounded forward and pulling up toward your belly button. Your TVA will be engaged with that as well. Doing your power pose, so always working to open up this instead of being tight here. You want to open up with a power pose, keep everything long. And then we do that external rotation of the hips. You're just squeezing glutes, and then you're externally rotating your hips. Engaging the glute med by doing that external rotation, and then just lightly opening that hip even more by squeezing the glute med by lifting the foot just very slightly, minimally, and then doing those lunges. So that'll help to create that perky booty, and not only a perky booty, but a good strong foundation in your glutes, which also is a mental thing too. So the more that you're foundational in your body, the more foundational you'll be in here. And IBS is a lot of that. So, talk to a lot of people with IBS or bowel issues, and they came from a family that didn't have a lot of groundedness. So anyway, also too, we have the Canadian bitters, and then we have the cleavers. So you can reach out to me if you need those too. So thanks a lot for doing some exercises with me. Hopefully I see you again, and reach out if you need anything. I always love to help. So looking forward to seeing you next week. Talk to you soon. Bye.